We're getting to that time of the year when all these holidays of light are reaching a bright pitch of parties, preparations, magical possibility, and a dash of stress. So I wanted to gift to you my top 5 herbs for not only surviving the holiday season, but thriving as well. So I'm Asia Suhler of One Willow Apothecaries, and these are my top 5 herbs for the holiday season. My first herb and one of the primary plants that I use throughout the holiday season and the entire winter time is pine. Pine and all evergreens were a really traditional part of celebrating the holiday season. In the deciduous world, almost all the green has left the forest except for our evergreens. So this is why evergreens were a big part of the Yule celebration, for example, bringing the Yule tree into one's home. And now we see that tradition with Christmas trees. Why I love pine in particular is because you can pretty much find it in every corner of the globe. Pine has a wide distribution and it's fairly easy to ID. It has those very characteristic needles. So in our area, white pine dominates our forest, which has 5 needles per fascicle or bundle. It's a really great and simple way to ID. Pine was used by traditional people in this country for a whole bevy of purposes. It's antimicrobial and it has a specific affinity for the lungs. So it's really helpful in helping us to banish wintertime lung grunge. It's also really high in vitamin C. One of my favorite ways of imbibing pine is to actually just go out and collect a nice handful of fresh needles and make an infusion with it. Infusions are simple. If you've ever made a tea bag, then you know how to make one. You basically just put your handful of pine needles into a French press or sturdy jar, cover it with boiling water, put a cap or a lid on it for about 20 minutes and let it infuse and then enjoy. And I'm going to tell you, this is a really easy and exciting way to introduce herbs to your family and pretty much wow everyone at your holiday celebration. Number 2 is chaga. Chaga is a medicinal fungus that grows on birch trees and is a rich part of Russian medicine, particularly in the northern climes. Chaga is both an immune tonic and an adaptogen. Adaptogens are herbs that help our body, mind, and spirits deal with stress of all kinds. They're basically herbs that help us be more graceful in our day-to-day lives, which is something we could all use around this time of the year. Immune tonics are also particularly important at this time of the year. This is normally when we start to wear a little bit at the edges, and so if we can prevent getting that cold on Christmas Eve, we certainly will. So this is really the best time to start taking these tonics on a daily basis to keep your immune system strong. My favorite way to prepare chaga is as a decoction, which basically means that you simmer it on the stove for half an hour up to several hours to extract out all those lovely medicinal benefits. Chaga also is high in antioxidants, so it pairs particularly well with chocolate. You can find my recipe for chaga hot cocoa and adaptogenic snickerdoodles or sugar cookies below. This is a wonderful thing to leave out for Santa Claus, but don't be surprised if there's none left in the morning. Number 3 is Elecampane. Elecampane is one of my favorite roots from the home garden. It's enlivening and a wonderful aromatic bitter. It's particularly helpful for stuck digestion and stuck lung conditions. So it's a great remedy for this time of the year when you might be starting to experience some issues with your lungs and eating quite large meals. One of my favorite ways to prepare Elecampane as a medicine is to make an infused honey, which basically just means covering the root with honey and letting sit for about a moon cycle. It's incredibly delicious and very helpful at helping to just smooth that digestion as well as addressing the lungs, which honey on its own is a great lung remedy. The name Elecampane comes from Helen of Troy, the story being that when she was carried away from her home, every tear she cried became an Elecampane plant. And this can really help us tap into the energetics of this root. This root is really good at helping us come back into the home of our bodies, which is so important when we are struggling and going from to-do list to to-do list and we're a bit frazzled, maybe wrapping packages the entire night of Christmas Eve. We can start to feel a little bit at disjuncture with our bodies. Elecampane helps us to come home once more and breathe. Number 4 is the wondrous Kava root. Kava is a Polynesian plant that has been used for centuries for social gathering and relaxation. Kava is a go-to indispensable herb for me for our family and holiday gatherings. It's particularly helpful when topics of politics, parenting, boyfriends, and babies come up.
Honey, are you seeing that boy still? The one with the motorcycle? Does he have a tattoo? I thought I saw he had a tattoo. Maybe more than one. Are you going to have a baby? I mean, I'm wondering how many babies you would have.
Kava is what you call an anxiolytic, or an herb that helps you not feel as anxious. It's amazingly effective, particularly for social situations, and it's one of the herbs that I like to use in lieu of alcohol. Just a small note on Kava. It can be habit forming, like any herb that kicks butt, and it has shown to be slightly imbalancing for our livers, similar to alcohol. So as with everything, use in moderation. The easiest way to imbibe Kava, particularly on the side of a party, is in tincture form. Tincture is basically an alcohol extraction. It involves covering that root with an alcohol, either vodka, brandy, or even ethanol if you have access to it, letting it sit and then siphoning it off. Alcohol is an amazing extractant, so it actually is able to take out those wonderful constituents to help you feel cool and rolling with any social situation. Number 5 is an herb you're probably all familiar with, and that's cinnamon. Cinnamon is a root bark, and that's one reason why it comes in those great rolls. As a spice, cinnamon is really warming and stimulating, so it's particularly effective at soothing digestion and helping keep the blood moving to all our extremities. It's a great warming remedy for our circulation, which becomes particularly important at this time of the year. Also, cinnamon really connects us into our nostalgia and memories with this season. And this is not to be overlooked. A big part of the experience of taking herbs is the sensuality of it. It's really invoking all of your senses and just enjoying the experience. A big part in the way in which people took herbs traditionally was as food and spice. This is really the foundation of medicine making. So I encourage you to include cinnamon as a medicine in more of your foods and teas. Cinnamon is particularly delicious on cookies. So experimenting with adding these medicinal spices into your foods this holiday season, and touch back in with the memories that truly warm your heart and spirit. If you're digging all this herbal content and you're feeling particularly jazzed about medicine making, I encourage you to gift yourself the experience of going even deeper with the Chestnut School of Herbal Medicine's new online herbal medicine making course. I was honored to be a part of filming this course with Juliet Blancaspor, and I'm truly in awe of the rich resource it has become. There's 3 modules, including all of the medicinal preparations I mentioned today, as well as a boatload of recipes for culinary preparations and on-the-body medicines. There's an early bird special going on right now till January 8th where you can hop on for a greatly reduced price. So consider gifting yourself the experience of going really deep into medicine making. Learn how to create your own home apothecary and enrich yourself with this season of herb craft.
Are you going to go to Aunt Esther's birthday party this year? I don't think you came to the last few birthday parties. She's 85, you know, and really it would be a very important thing if you came. I don't think I saw you there either at Bill's engagement party. I don't think you came.